Hello, good morning and welcome to the AM News with me, Mapisa Sibidi. Now, first story, in what appears to be evolving into a full-blown squabble between the Ghana Water Company Limited and the Ghana National Fire Service over who is to blame for challenges in fighting Monday's fire in the central business district of Accra. The state utility company has accused the fire service of illegally selling water from its hydrants. The Ghana Water Company Limited has rejected claims that low pressure in the hydrants was the reason the fire tenders had to travel long distances to refill. Engineer Emmanuel Johnson is the chief manager of the Ghana Water Company Limited in Accra East area.
GWCL had several arrangements with the Ghana National Fire Service, and we have always cautioned them to refrain from fetching water from our hydrants and selling to members of the general public. It is a public knowledge that the fire tenders, which are supposed to be used specifically for firefighting, are being abused. We have incidences littered across the length and breadth of the country and even the region, where officials from Ghana National Fire Service sell water to the public. And we have complained to their offices, and even some of their officials voluntarily come to the office to volunteer information to the Ghana Water Company Limited. The Ghana Water Company Limited has discharged its duty by providing adequate hydrants in the CBD and all areas within the metropolis, ensuring that the hydrants are in good condition, readily available for use by the Ghana National Fire Service, thus fulfilling all obligations as a company. Upon similar allegations against the Ghana Water Company Limited in 2018, the GWCL requested for an audit of all the fire hydrants in the country. So together with the Ministry of Interior, we could have the 40 ones claimed by the Ghana National Fire Service repaired. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the Ghana Water Company is still waiting for that response from the Ghana National Fire Service. To conclude, Ghana Water Company Limited, ladies and gentlemen, can never be blamed in any way for the inability of the Ghana National Fire Service to fight or dose the fire on Monday, the 5th of July 2021, to the expectations of the general public. The Ghana National Fire Service should therefore adhere to their standard procedures, operating procedures. Actually, they need to check every morning the pressures, whether the hydrant is working, the pressures in the hydrants, and hand over probably to the next person who's come take over. And stop the blame game and blaming others for their shortcomings.
Away from that, Defence Minister Dominic Nuttall has confirmed the soldiers who were involved in the assault of residents of the Upper West Regional Capital have been sanctioned. The soldiers had been captured in a viral videos brutalizing the residents over the loss of a mobile phone, which one of the soldiers left in a tricycle. Delivering a statement on the floor of Parliament on the situation, Mr. Nuttall explained punitive measures have been taken against the soldiers, adding the victims reported losing 13 mobile phones, a tricycle and 1,460,000 CDs. 7 of the phones have been returned to the owners, but the money hasn't been recovered.
Again, Mr. Speaker, with the exception of the duty officer, all personnel who were on duty on the day of the incident have been charged, tried, and punished as appropriate. The various forms of punishment given to these officers are as follows. Mr. Speaker, the orderly sergeant, who was a staff sergeant, has been reduced to corporal. It's big, 10 years difference. Mr. Speaker, the guard commander, who was a corporal, has been reduced to private soldier. The sentry on duty, Mr. Speaker, who was a lance corporal, has been reduced to private soldier. Mr. Speaker, the trial of the duty officer, who is a lieutenant, will, however, commence on or before Wednesday, 14th July 2021. All the above trials and punishment are without prejudice to the outcome of the subjects under various forms of investigation. 8 other soldiers who were deeply involved or visibly identified in various videos brutalizing some citizens have been charged, tried, and awarded 30 days each in detention by a disciplinary board chaired by the commanding officer. The remaining soldiers who were also involved in the incident but not identified as brutalizing officers will all be transferred out of the region immediately.
Now, 3 suspects have been remanded into police custody by the Kuntanase Magistrates Court over the murder of driver and head teacher Israel J. Menu at the Fiase in the Ashanti region. The police arrested 2 more suspects named by the prime suspect, Rashid Ibrahim, to assist in investigations. Richard Adai and Anthony Sekum work at the Black Akasa Shrine as fetish priest assistants and laborer. Love Fame's Nanaya Jima sat through court proceedings in Kuntanase and reports that aside the remand of the 3 suspects into police custody, the police have also mounted a search for 2 more suspects.
Have been remanded to reappear before court on the 22nd of July. Richard Ade and Anthony Sekum work at Black Akasa Shrine as fetish assistant and laborer respectively. The police have mounted search for 2 more suspects, including the fetish priest in charge of the shrine. According to police, Rashid claims to have visited the shrine for money rituals after an advertisement on Amansan TV in November 2020. He was then directed to bring human head for the ritual. The plan was since hatched until he proceeded with the intention on July 4th. Rashid Ibrahim had earlier given out a detailed account of how he first picked his alleged victim at Kumasi High School Junction, a popular spot at Atonsu, led him to a spot in the area which is under development where he slashed him several times with a machete. It took a search party of police and residents to locate the head of the deceased in nearby bush. For JoyNews, Nana Ojima reporting.
Away from that, residents in tidal waves affected communities in the Ketu South municipality of the Volta region have re-echoed calls for resettlement. They're suggesting government temporarily resettles them on parcels of lands beyond the lagoon, while plans are extended to build the sea defense wall to protect their communities. The residents made the passionate appeal when the Ketu South Member of Parliament, Abla Jifagomashi, presented some clothes donated by the Ghana Islamic Mission to the victims.
Thousands of residents in Agaveji, Sarakope and Amuchinu are bearing the brunt of tidal waves devastation on the shores of the Gulf of Guinea. The affected residents of these communities in the Ketu South municipality are compelled to put up makeshift structures. The structures made of palm fronds and clothing have been erected on dumping sites along the lagoon. Daniel Komitete explains life has been unbearable for them within the last 3 years. The sea has swallowed the majority of our communities within the last 3 years. About 17 households live in these makeshift structures. We have nowhere else to go. We have to take shelter in a nearby church when it rains. There's nothing to eat. We can't fish because our nets are all torn. This is because the base of the sea is full of the debris of our buildings. We are settled in between the sea and the lagoon. The entire place gets flooded when it rains. The government must ensure the sea defense wall is extended to protect our communities. The development has left some of the victims traumatized as the sea has consumed all they had toiled for in their lives. They are not assured of where the next meal will come from, nor where to lay their head for a good night's sleep. Community leaders made a passionate appeal to the government to resettle them beyond the lagoon. Viketu South Member of Parliament, Jifa Gumashi, entreated the relevant institutions to consider the proposal and come out with a suitable resettlement plan for her constituents.
I'd like to, on behalf of the people of Agavaji, Amuchinu, and Salakopa, make a passionate appeal to the state through His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. President, my people need a place to lay their heads. As a layperson, I can see the land across from the lagoon, but that would be just me speaking. I think that the municipal chief executive, the regional minister, the minister for works and housing, the minister for roads, these four people can come together and help us solve the problem of where the people can temporarily be accommodated whilst we look at the bigger picture of the sea defense. So I'm just saying that as the representative of the people in Parliament, and also as Mama Jamado, the first of the community, I am only appealing on behalf of the people that the state responds to us as citizens are required to do.
Madam Gumashi presented some used clothing donated by the Ghana Islamic Mission to the victims. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Agaveji.
Procedures have begun in preparation for the surgery to separate the Bansa twins conjoined at the head as groundbreaking test is conducted for the first time in Ghana. There's more in the following reports.
The Bansa Siamese twins have gone through a specialized MRI scan conducted in preparation for the first phase of their separation surgery. The twins are the first in Ghana to be born conjoined at the head, and doctors at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital are gearing up to perform a series of complicated procedures over a period of 12 to 18 months to separate the twins. This most recent test is a specialized MRI scan that has never been done in Ghana. Senior radiographer at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Doreen Na Jama Odote, is the only Ghanaian technician who had ever observed this test being conducted anywhere in the world. She said the procedure was a success, but it wasn't easy.
When it comes to our maiden diffusion tensor image, we also realized that we had a challenge there when it came to the scanning protocol. Again, we had to modify the scanning protocol to ensure that we could get these images. Now, if you turn your attention to our screen, we have the diffusion tensor images which we achieved today. And basically, from this image here, that's on your upper right quadrant, you realize that we can see the fibers in baby 1's brain. So this clearly tells us that baby 1 has his brain fibers going in that particular direction. So we realize baby 1 is the one below and baby 2 is the one above. So we realize that here in baby 2 we have his brain fibers shooting to the other direction. So basically this kind of imaging, or the diffusion tensor imaging, shows us the direction of the baby's brain tissue, and also it helps the surgeons because they now know where it would be safe to enter or not to enter, so as not to, as it were, paralyze or cause more harm to these babies. This will also help us to, or the whole craniophagos team, to fabricate the models which will be needed during the practice leading towards the surgery. So despite the challenges that were faced today in our scan, the scan did come out successfully.
Top neurosurgeon and team leader on the case, Dr. Kaba, explained that this test was hitherto considered unfeasible. He also explained why the successful completion of the procedure was good news, not only for the twins, but for all Ghanaians.
This test that we have done today is extremely important, not only for the kids, but for people who have brain tumors, stroke, and other neurological diseases, even heart diseases and many others. It actually allows us to see the tracks in the brain, to know exactly where we are what to touch and what not to touch, what is affected and what is not affected. So it gives us a detailed view of what is happening or what has happened to the brain. And regarding the twins, it will actually help us to have a more detailed study of their anatomy to be able to plan for a successful surgery. I must say that until we received them, we didn't know that this test could be done in Ghana. And it's the first time we are having it done in Ghana and in the sub-region. We didn't know that the technician could do it until we started asking, who can help us with this? Who can help us with this? Everybody is saying, our machine doesn't have this, our machine doesn't have this, and we got to know that Rich Hospital machine has it. And the technician in Rich has done it before. And that by itself is a great, great relief when it comes to the diagnosis and treatment of other diseases, including heart, brain, and spinal cord, and other organs.
President Akufo-Addo says he's committed to building a robust educational sector capable of preparing Ghanaians for global demands. According to him, the country's quest to speed up development may not succeed if the commitment is not realized. At a meeting with the leadership of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, the president applauded the role of teachers in the implementation and the sustenance of the free senior high school program, adding government is working to improve the conditions of teachers.
One of the most important partners of the Akufo-Addo government and presidency. We've invested huge sums of money in education, in the new initiative, Free Senior High School, and in several other initiatives throughout the educational system, right from kindergarten up to the tertiary level. And all of these initiatives and reforms, they can't get anywhere on the ground without your active cooperation. And we've had that cooperation. Say that with a great deal of pleasure and satisfaction that the teachers, as a class, as a group, as a community, and as individuals have been very supportive of the work this government has done in these last 4.5 years, trying to get ourselves an educational system that is fit for the 21st century. It is the bedrock of any progressive nation, a good educational system. Without it, you can't have any meaningful progress. And you who are the main stakeholders in it, therefore constitute one of the most important constituencies in our country. And it has been a source of strength for me to have had the cooperation that we've had. Yes, even amongst the best of partners, every now and then, there will be disputes. There will be matters that require settlement. But as a general rule, I can say that I have been very satisfied as president about the active support that NAT has given to the programs of government.
The leadership of NAT was at the Jubilee House to update the president on key national intervention undertaken by the association. President of NAT, Philippa Lawson, said the Teachers Union has fully acquired the Sweden-Ghana Medical Center to treat cancer-related ailments, but wants government support to import the requisite machines for the hospital.
Between last year and this year, by the grace of God, during my tenure and the tenure of the principal officers gathered here, we have been able to do a few things. The first one is that the welfare of our members is paramount, and they were asking for donations, but we realized that majority of them had issues with cancer. And with the Sweden-Ghana Medical Center established, we started deducting 2 cedis so that we could treat our members who have contracted cancer for free. By the grace of God, the Swedish government had to fold up, and they gave us the first offer. I am happy to inform this House that NAT has fully bought the Sweden-Ghana Medical Center. And so that center is now ours. Yes, now that we have bought it, we also want to upgrade it to make it the best treatment center for cancer in Africa. And that will mean that we'll have to do a few more things to upgrade the place. And so the first thing we want to do is to have a client or patient accommodation. Because normally people who come there for the chemotherapy, the treatment and all that, you have to return that same day. And so we want to put up a 4-story building facility for clients or patients where they can be accommodated. We are also looking at putting up a staff accommodation because currently we don't have wards, and so no health personnel lives in the facility. Some people arrive very late and they have nobody to attend to them, so we want to put up that facility too. We wouldn't want to disturb you, Honorable, but at least we want to have a tax waiver. We will try to source for loans on our own to buy the equipment and the machines. But because they are going to be imported, yes, the duty and all that, the tax very expensive. So we are pleading if we could have a tax waiver, we will be very, very happy.
And that's how we end the AM News. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Mapitsa CBD.
Into it, and we'll be joined by Gifty and Apia as we get into the papers. But let me just let you know, I have this morning the daily graphic newspaper Republic Press, let me say the Ghanaian Publisher. I also have with me the BNFT, Weekend Today. There's a special I'll be bringing you from that, the Custodian, the Accra Times, and the Daily Statesman newspaper. Gifty and Apia, can you hear me? All right, so we'll be connecting to Gifty, who will be doing some of the other papers, from the Dispatch to the Ghanaian Times, the Daily Guide, and the Finder newspaper. But let me start from right here in the studio as we take a look at the Daily Graphic. And it starts with NAT. It says NAT to set up one-stop shop for cancer treatment. That story is on page 13. There's also 135 COVID-19 affected Achimota students discharged. You heard the story, those who were tested initially and how many of them tested positive out of even the 34 that we had for the Delta variant. So some details there on page 20. 2 MPs, Abronye, I'm talking about Abronye DC, a stalwart of the MPP, sue Attorney General over first and second ladies' salaries. Some people are saying, definitely not. Why should we be paying them? Do they become officials of the state? What does our constitution say in that respect? And some have also said that if this is going to be backdated, so that they're going to be paid since what, 2017? I mean, some of what has been put out there, then what exactly are we doing, especially to a country with the coffers in the states that we find it in these COVID-19 times? So a lot to talk about. There's also that 28 million case to do with the parliament, well, I should say parliamentarians' cars and all of that. So a lot of money matters going on that we can talk about. Military brutality, and while 86 perpetrators sanctioned, demotions, transfers, detentions handed out to culprits. I'll be telling you a bit more about that, but as you have heard already, the Colonel Ayorogo committee has actually been meting out some punishments to some of those officials who were on duty on the day, the commanding officers and all of that. We'll bring you some details like we did yesterday. But let's get to the international pages now. Jacob Zuma in prison. That is on page 5. We know that he's handed himself over willingly to officials of state. And it says here, South Africa's former president, Jacob Zuma, has handed himself to the police to begin a 15-month sentence for contempt of court. The sentencing sparked an unprecedented legal drama in South Africa. President Zuma has decided to comply with the incarceration order, and his imprisonment comes after a week of rising tensions over his sentence. He is 79, by the way. Inside Africa, well, bandits kill 18 in northwest Nigeria raid, and Nigeria to freeze multi-choice Africa accounts to recover, guess what, $4.4 billion. And that's what Nigeria's Revenue Service is saying. It has instructed banks to freeze the accounts of media entertainment firm MultiChoice Africa and its Nigerian subsidiary for breaching agreements and denying access to their records for auditing. The firms are part of South Africa-based MultiChoice Group. So that is. Do we have the temerity in this country to do such even when we know it? It's just a question I'm putting out there. Because if you look at things, even with ordinary Ghanaians and businesses, sometimes we see through the lifestyle and everything that people are living large, but the system simply cannot clamp down on them. So where do we go from here when we keep crying we need funds to actually build the country? On the other international page, page 9, Trump sues Facebook, Twitter, Google over social media bans. Yeah, he is actually saying, well, they did not act in good faith, and he is raising the stakes in his battle against social media giants, talking about billing the effort during a press conference as a move to defend First Amendment rights. Trump filed 3 separate class action lawsuits in a federal court in Florida against the tech giants. Twitter, as you would know, has permanently banned Trump. So here's what they say. We're going to hold big tech very accountable, Trump said during the press conference at his Trump National Golf Club, Bedminster, in New Jersey. Haiti police kill 4 suspects linked to assassination, and that's another developing story on the back of the assassination of Jovenel Moïse. And EU increases pressure on Hungary over LGBT plus law. Do we have Gifty under our PI yet? Okay.
I am here.
You are.
I am here.
Great.
Yes, can you hear me? Can you?
I can hear you loud and clear. Is it the morning that has got your voice, or is it the cat?
I think that you're hearing me through my car. That's why.
Whoa. You've parked, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay. We need you alive. Anyway, so...
Oh, of course.
Yes, definitely. I know you have a couple of papers. Would you want to take a look at them now with the headlines, or should I proceed with the Daily Graphic and come back to you?
Well, I can. I have the Ghanaian Times newspaper.
Right.
And I also have the Daily Guide newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Dispatch newspaper, and I have the Finder newspaper.
Okay.
Maybe I can start with the headlines in the Ghanaian Times, if it's okay.
Let's do.
Okay. So in the Ghanaian Times newspaper, I have misguided soldiers punished. And it comes with a picture of the Defense Minister, Dominic Initiwo. And of course, it's about a war brutality, military brutality story. And then I've got one officer, well, still connected to the story. One officer faces trial, 3 demoted, others to serve 30 days detention. And then I have approval of presidential spouse emolument. 2 NDC MPs, NPP stalwarts go to court. Other stories that you can find on the Ghanaian Times newspaper front page. President inaugurates 4-tier Pokwase interchange today. And it comes with a very beautiful picture of the interchange, and we're looking forward to that one. Then a drug killings probe. 3 suspects, not my bodyguard. That's according to the MCE. So those are the headlines in the Ghanaian Times newspaper. If you go to the Pick 3, it says 2 NDC MPs, NPP stalwarts go to court. So that's the story that you had on the front page. On the back page, you have 80 million Bank of Ghana hospital inaugurated in Accra, and it comes with a picture of the inauguration yesterday. Still on in Ghanaian Times, 10% of Ghanaians mad in quotes. And that story has been attributed to the health minister. Then I have Deputy GSE boss endorses development bank. Ms. Ghana Gas rescue 16-year-old scoliosis patient with 50,000 CDs, and Leshego to roll out. Okay, Leshego Digital sounds more like a commercial. So that's it for the Ghanaian Times newspaper. If I should move on with the Daily Guide newspaper, here are the stories. 86 while soldiers punished, 7 stolen phones retrieved. So apparently those phones that were retrieved, that were stolen, were about 7. I mean, well, okay. Ato Essien, 2 others to open defense, 1 set free. And then a drug probe is also being reported here. I heard pump action fire from crowd. And the story is on page 3 of the newspaper. Another story you can find on the Daily Guide newspaper is Yendi MP gets boreholes for 20 communities, which is very exciting. If you know about Yendi, you know that that's a very exciting story. Okay, on the back page of the Daily Guide, Kukudazi hot over Kotoko match-fixing claims, and PSG step up Pogba pursuit after Ramos capture. And then, is it coming home or Rome? You find that on the back page of the Daily Guide newspaper. I've got 2 more newspapers. If I should go on, I will go on with
yes,
the
please
Finder.
do. Please do.
Okay. I'll go on with the Finder newspaper. The Finder is reporting nation values sacrifice of teachers. It's for page 2 of the newspaper. And the story, of course, is from yesterday's meeting with President Akufo-Addo. It says they make education reforms initiative possible, according to the president. And it comes with pictures of the education minister and some of the teachers who met with the president in that picture with the president. Then angry youth threatened to burn a Ejura hospital. Dr. Manye, a story from page 5 of the Finder newspaper. And court orders Ato Essien 2 others to open defense, but acquit and discharge Leroy Cable's managing director. Finder has a lot of stories on the front page. Yas Samtua Museum Mausoleum to be upgraded, according to the tourism minister. Story is on page 10. And Zongo Council honors NPA boss for modest contribution to Zongo community, page 8. And that's it for the Finder newspaper's front page. The final newspaper I have is the Daily Dispatch. Daily Dispatch says 12 tried and punished by military, rest to be transferred. Dominic Nitiwo saying that. And Razak Kojo Opoku on state benefit for first and second ladies. Story is on page 11. Mustafa Hamid, NPA CEO, honored by Zongo Council for improving Zongo communities, and 10% of Ghanaians living with mental disorders, according to the health minister. It's also been reported by the Daily Dispatch here. And on the back page of the Daily Dispatch, misbehavior by soldiers in war, 12 tried and punished. So it actually gives you the details of that particular story, and it comes to the picture of the Defense Minister, Dominic Nitiwo. So, Benjamin, those are my papers for now.
Before I segue into the Daily Graphic newspaper, you know that word from one of the papers, I think the penultimate one you did, mausoleum. Charlie, brought back memories, the way people struggled with that word way back. Anyway, let's get into the Daily Graphic. The middle spread, because I had already started. Ejura disturbances inquiry. Victims were shot from behind. And of course, we heard the medical doctor testify yesterday. When you go to the back page of the paper, Newmarket stalls opened at Kade and 5 suspected human traffickers grabbed, 10 youth rescued. Looks like I'll do those 2 stories from the Daily Graphic. Republic Press, NDC MPs sue AG. Fire Service, Ghana Water in dogfight. It was, as we call it, fire versus water yesterday. And in essence, the fire service, supposedly, per the allegations being made by the leadership of the Ghana Water Company Limited, sometimes use the hydrants to get water and give them out, sell them sometimes. And that is the problem in there. We pray for daily bread. Coffin makers explain. Charlie? Obi will know Jineni. Top Kings sets record straight. That's it with Republic Press. The Ghanaian publisher now, government to boost rice production in Bono East, and soldiers in Wa beatings demoted. Car loans, not freebies. That's according to Parliament. Quickly now to the BNFT. We must add value to export products through partnerships. That's according to the Finance Minister. Mr. Finance Minister, very good call. How long have we known this, though? Since even before we became independent. So this is nothing new, but what have we done in the 64 years we've been independent? Port duties to go up as customs adjust freight rates. The custodian, Akufo-Addo, praises teachers for free SHS successes. And there's also that story, MPs pay back car loans. Parliament is clarifying. The Daily Statesman, before I do the Accra Times quickly, President urges NAT to support educational reforms. And that story you were alluding to, Gifty, 3.1 million Ghanaians have mental disorders. That's the health minister revealing. Well, a bit of little surprise in there, right? And the Accra Times, finally, Dr. Zaneto jabs Akufo-Addo. Ghanaians expect leadership with integrity. That's on page 12 of the Accra Times. And North Dine MP fights minister over school feeding. So Gifty, and oh, I nearly missed out on this one. Weekend Today, very important. Weekend Today. It has pictures there of women in media. And our very own Araba Kumsin, a.k.a. Gifty. You want to do the a.k.a. for me?
Oh, you want to create problems for me this morning?
A.k.a. Rapsi.
Rabzo.
Rabzo.
No, Rabzo.
Rabzo.
But I was actually, yes, I actually had one, but I won't say that now.
Oh, okay. Right. So she's splashed all over the Weekend Today newspaper, and she's looking gorgeous, isn't she? Oh. Anyway, so let's get into the paper. No, let's get into the papers before I get into trouble. What you say? So let's do the papers.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big story that has been running is the soldiers and the sort of punishment that has come to those who were found, culpable.
Yep.
I think for me, one thing that I want to say is, it looks to me like we've acted really, really fast. And that's good. That's really good.
You're speaking about the WA situation specifically. The WA situation,
yes,
right?
About the WA situation, yes. I think that the military acted very quickly. They moved in I think it was just the next day that they moved in and they went to meet with the traditional leaders of WA. And then immediately a committee was set up. This committee that was set up has done its work quickly. We've had the mixed reactions that have come, from the victims. I heard this morning some of them say, I think they should have been expelled from the military. But then there was this lady whose argument is that if you expel these people and they go out there, that's like some sort of license to do whatever they, because they have training.
Exactly. That was exactly what I was about to point to. They are military trained personnel now. So you're putting out there people with those skills and unleashing them on the public.
Exactly. So the lady's argument was that won't be good for us anyway, and I totally agree 100%. I think that the punishment should be good. Maybe they expected a bit more severe punishment for them. But I think demotion is a big deal for military officials as well, because, it's not easy to get to a certain level. So when you're, demoted, you should feel the pinch somehow.
Right.
So I think that the pace with which we did this will sort of restore some confidence in the public. And I hope that as we go along, the relationship between the military and the civilians, especially in WA, will be restored significantly. Right. But 7 mobile phones, as we're reading, were stolen. I saw that and I was like, oh wow. I'm appealing to those residents and people who live around these barracks, that please don't steal things from the military.
But these are people with some temerity as well. Imagine that what would be a Rihanna Papa soldier na uko Rihanna, so it smacks of something. But Adam Bona speaking to us right here on the AM show yesterday, he's been giving out ratings. Day 1 of the IDRA committee, he rated them 2 over 10. Day 2, he rated them 4 over 10. When I asked him yesterday about the WA committee, the Ayorogo committee, he gave them 8 over 10. And I think it's partly because all of us have been giving them their plaudits because of how speedily they've worked, of how the leadership of the Ghana military went out there, spoke to the WANA, among others, expressed their, condolences even to those who have been affected.
And that's also because this is a big deal. To have military personnel on the street, brutalizing civilians That is a big deal. I mean, that is it sends chills down your spine. I mean, if that should happen, like, we're doomed. And so I like the response. And you see that just on that day, the members of parliament had it discussed on the floor. We had the defense minister himself speak about it. I wish that we could have the same reaction to the Ejura killings as well.
And now that you mentioned,
that we had the same reaction to Ejura killings.
Now that you mentioned Ejura, you know that there were two victims, Abdul Nasir Yusuf and Murtala Ibrahim, who were allegedly shot from behind. Well, yesterday we all heard it as the medical doctor, superintendent of the Ejura Government Hospital, Dr. Mensa Manye, actually told Justice Kumsin and his committee that the two victims who died in the incident were in fact shot from behind. And, you know, he gives a description of about what the distance would be. He claims he's not an expert, which is true, but he says looking at the injury and penetration wounds, exit wounds and all of that, you can conjecture that it was at quite a distance, which fits into what we saw on camera. You get it, whether the one who aimed shot or not. But
you won't necessarily say so. There has to be a lot of analysis and a lot of forensic studies and forensic examination and analysis to be able to figure out where that particular bullet came from. And you had the member of the committee, I think Dr. Vladimir Njidanso, asked whether or not he could tell. He said he removed the bullets from the guy's thigh, and he was telling. So you have to do a lot of forensic analysis of this particular bullet, and then take the I guess the guns that were used, or the guns in this matter, and then do the analysis to figure out where that bullet came from. And I don't know whether we can do that or whether we will do that in this instance, because the military official. Sorry, go ahead.
That, Gifty, is the point. I mean, we're getting all CSI here. But the point to be made is that the medical doctor did say that he was no expert. Of course, he's not an expert in forensics. But as far as he is concerned, he was clarifying that as far as he is concerned, those wounds appear to have come from the back, from the rear.
Yeah. So,
but of course, we'll have to conduct the further analysis you speak of.
The argument that the military official, one of the military officials who came, I think Lieutenant Keno Pepra, was making the point that the gunshots could have come also from the protesters. Of course, people have their counter argument, but it all has to come with some evidence. Okay, so even if it came from the back, where did it come from? Which angle did it come from? And how, at the end of the day, the police have not been able to indicate whether the guns they claim were on the people they have arrested, because the police says they've arrested two of the protesters who had guns during the protest. But we don't know whether the guns were, they had the guns on them during the protest. At what point these people were arrested? Was it after or during the protest? And we don't also know, and he said it to the committee, whether or not the guns they had been spent bullets, or whether or not it was used, So these are all things that ought to be cleared up. But I think that generally people have this sense of belief that the gunshot definitely would have come from either the police or the military. But that's why this committee is there, except that people don't believe or feel that the committee has enough powers to probe further and to bring up some of these details, which is why we're hearing this morning that the family has decided not to appear in front of the committee. They seem to have very low confidence in the ability of the committee to bring justice, the kind of justice that they expect. I don't know what we can do at this point, but the cause has been for a presidential commission rather than a ministerial committee. I don't know what the president makes of it. I don't know what the states will decide to do, but the committee have already started its work. So we see how it goes. And
we'll see how it pans out. Before I go to the final story I want us to look at, Gifty, and I'll throw it to you when we get there. It's about the NDC MP suing the AG and, of course, Abronya DC as well. But on the back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper, 5 suspected human traffickers grabbed, 10 youth rescued. And The Bachona police have rescued 10 Nigerian youth from their suspected traffickers at coastal estates down on the Spintex Road in Accra. 5 persons suspected to be the masterminds of the trafficking, identified as Apostle Sunday, and others, were arrested from Edo State. All regional administrative territories in Nigeria were arrested in connection with the case. Would you like to chip in something?
Actually, the number of those who were arrested for this trafficking, as being, the masterminds of this trafficking syndicate, 6. I think yesterday I had that information from the police as well. The number was 6.
Well, it appears to have been
6 of them.
It appears to have been upped, at least as far as the Daily Graphic is concerned, per the information they are getting.
Right. So what we know from the police is that 6 of them, and then they had 10 people, young people that they have brought from Nigeria. The people told the police when they found them that they were brought in batches from Nigeria, in search of greener pastures. But what they were using them for was keeping them in a room, giving them laptops. The police retrieved about 14 laptops. So they kept them in a room, gave them laptops, and what they used is they use it to do a cyber fraud. And essentially, apparently, according to those who were the victims, they were beaten up anytime they failed to lure people into sending money over. And they were beaten sometimes when they asked for food. So according to the police, they found, marks on the backs of some of these people, which indicates that they've been beaten or abused.
I guess we can call this cyber slavery in a way, because this is what they're being compelled to do. We see this in different shapes, different forms, but in this instance, this is the shape it took. But I know we'll get further details on that story as time goes on, and we'll be able to serve the public with more. But Gifty, in 30 seconds, I want you to share your thoughts on NDC MPs Roxanne Nelson, Dafia Mekpo, Dr. Apak, together with Abronya DC, taking on Parliament when it comes to, those matters that they've taking on the AG, in fact, not Parliament, taking on the AG, on the bit about emoluments or salaries for first and second ladies. Your take?
I think Mr. Dafia Mekpo's position is the legality of it. I'm not sure if he has any issues with the payment of the money itself. I mean, there have been arguments that these are people who support the presidency to deliver, and so you ought to pay them. But I tend to align with the people who say, do not backdate it. I mean, you've decided to pay them now. We can look at that. But backdated all the way to 2017, that's a lot of money. And people have said, just what that amount of money can do for the traders Amakola, whose wares got burnt on Monday, for example. I think we shouldn't, when it comes to backdating, for me, it's a no-no. Okay. It's a no-no. But whether or not they deserve the money, that's a whole different argument we can have. But I don't think we have the time right now to do all of that.
Always refreshing, Gifty Ando-Apia. Can't wait to see you when you get here. But thank you so much for connecting and joining the news review. Right. This is where we'll actually wrap it up when it comes to the news review. But we're coming your way next with sporting action. You can check out a lot of our stories on myjoyonline.com. And do stay with us. When we return, we bring you sports.
It is the weekend where there could be a party across the country for the Oak family, because an opportunity is being presented for Accra House of Oak to win the Ghana Premier League for the first time in 11 years. But before that happens, Liverpool Professionals is the team standing on their way. They need a win to secure that party everyone is seeking for. And also, what are the chances of Ghana winning AFCON 2022? Rahim Ayew, older brother of Andre Ayew, says that his younger brother have got the qualities to lead the senior national team to win the AFCON. This is AM Sports on the AM Show with me, Muftau Nabila Abla. Let's start with the Black Stars, where Rahim Ayew, older brother of Andre Ayew, believes that the former Swansea City playmaker has got the leadership qualities to guide the Black Stars to win a first AFCON title in 39 years. The Black Stars have failed to win a continental silverware since 1982, despite reaching 3 finals in 1992, 2010, and 2015. Rahim Ayew, who was part of the team in the 2010 edition of the African Cup of Nations, says that his younger brother has got what it takes to win the AFCON.
Andre has always been a leader, wherever he has been. So I wouldn't say much. So he has the quality. I mean, I always say he was born for it. So hopefully, I mean, he's doing great things now. So I just hope for the best. And I always pray that, you know, he do great things for the national team, which he did with the under-20, you know, which has never been done before. So I just hope when things get well or things continue as I mean, it's going.
So what makes Andre different from previous captains of the Black Stars?
I mean, not much. Not much, but those who were there before him, they did what they can, you know. They did what they could. He has come. He's doing what, you know, being a leader does not mean that they just take the banner and give it to you. You have to have certain qualities. Not everyone can be a leader. So.
But since 2014, there have been a palpable discord between supporters of the Black Stars and the senior national team. So what would it take for the country to throw their weight behind this team that has been struggling to win any silverware since 1982? Well, captain of the team, Andre Ayew, says for the national team to win the love of citizens ahead of the 2022 African Cup of Nations, the players must work hard to earn it. Speaking on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7, the 2009 FIFA Under-20 World Cup winner said the team is on course to winning the love of supporters back.
We all know the reasons of all this divorce or the word that we use towards that. But I believe deep inside me that every single Ghanaian loves the Black Stars. You know, you can love your wife and be angry. You love your son, but you're angry at him. And I think that's been the relationship between the Black Stars and the supporters and all Ghanaians. But the feeling I'm having is that they are waiting for us to give them something, you know, to give them something to spark. And I feel it's starting to come. I feel that the belief is growing. I feel we have young, talented players and older ones who make the team get attractive again. There are a lot of positives, you know, there are a lot of positives. I think the negatives now are becoming less and less on the pitch and off the pitch. We need to try and keep doing that. As the captain, I know is very important. I would wish not to be thinking about this, but just to focus on how I can get my players, you know, mentally on top for us to perform. But it's a life. I wouldn't say that it's something that we look at, because we will need the support from our nation if we want to do something. You know, we will need it. We're not, you know, we can't sit here and tell them that they have to believe that we are going to win, or they should bet that we are going to win. But that feeling that they are behind us, you know. But that is also something that we have to earn. And I think we started the right way by qualifying
for the African
Cup. Now the World Cup qualifiers are coming, and I believe that if we give them a good run of games, by the time we get to January, we're going to Cameroon, the belief and the spirit and everything around will be higher than what it is, and we can go there and really deliver for the nation.
And this weekend, the biggest game in European football will be coming as England and Italy square off for who wins the Euro 2020 tournament. Well, we'll build up to that tournament and revisit what transpired in the 2012 editions when these two countries met. It was a marathon penalty shootout, and we are reloading that history as we continue our build-up to the final.
Yeah, for me, I think it's going to be a very good final. I think all the pundits are craving for this final, you know, between these two teams. All the two teams have played very well till now. You can see Italy, throughout their journey to the final, they've been playing very good football. You know, it's surprising football for everybody. We know Italians will sit and then punish you with counter-attacks and defend their box very, very well. But in this tournament, they bring in different style of football. Talking about England as well, looking at England, they've also changed their style. Typical England football is about long ball, second ball, long ball, second ball. It's no more. This tournament, they've tried to play constructive football. 4-2-3-1, and they have players that can control the midfield and then try to break down the phases of play before they get to the final third. So for me, I think these two teams is going to be interesting to see them. The pundits have predicted very, very well because most of them are craving for this final.
Now, while most people are craving for this final, let me ask you this, Michael. How much belief did you have that England was going to get this far? Did you have the conviction that England was going to get this far?
In all honesty, if you go back to the German game, you remember what I said before that game. In all honesty, I wasn't convinced that the young English side had enough what it takes to be able to master a side of Germany. History speaks for itself, and England have always fared second best against Germany. But once we overcame the Germans and got through, and then met Ukraine, I was a little bit more confident. They seem to be still keeping the clean sheets, playing some good football, and effectively they destroyed Ukraine in a wonderful presentation. Today, I knew Denmark was going to be a difficult hurdle to cross, and they're a fantastic team with some wonderful players. But to be fair, England have managed to overcome the threat of Denmark, who are a top quality team in this competition. And now all of a sudden, these young boys find themselves in a final against a very strong Italian side. So, yes, I am a little bit surprised, but now all of a sudden I'm starting to get convinced.
Well, I can't take anything away from Michael. At this point, he sure has to show, where the blood pumps, the direction which the blood pumps. Now, Stephen, you've been pro-Italy throughout this tournament, and obviously you haven't done any bias, analysis. You've been spot on with the analysis. But this is the moment. It's finally here, and the Azzurri get an opportunity to live the moments of 1968, even though since then football has evolved, and even their style of play has evolved.
Well, Italian coaches are very, very dangerous when it comes to tournaments like this. And I mean, Mancini finding himself in the finals, he would do everything to win the game. I bet by now they have started watching the English players, their tactics, how they move, everything. Players like Bonucci and Chiellini, every game they watch videos like 1 hour, 30 minutes before games. So that tells you that they will try to analyze every player that they are going to mark. And I mean, both teams, it's a good finals. We are going to enjoy ourselves. Both two great nations, football nations. And we hope that what we watched this evening, we're going to see the same thing in the finals, because, I mean, Denmark and England, they entertain us, and everybody who watched the game, I mean, 120 minutes, you really, really got something from the game that they played this evening.
It's always good to have you. Welcome back on the AM show. Thank you for staying. It's another first. Joy Prime, in partnership with HD Plus, the HD Experience partner for the Multimedia Group, premieres Africa's first ever live football game in ultra high definition 4K. Think about that. Catch the semi-finals and final of the Euro 2020 in ultra high definition 4K on Joy Prime between the 6th and the 11th of July. Be a part of this first. Visit the Samsung App Store on your Samsung Smart TV. Download my HD Plus app and tune in to the HD Plus dedicated 4K channel 100. That is channel 100. Don't miss out on this first in Africa. See it feely, Yagani, in UHD 4K via my HD Plus app on your Samsung Smart TV. This 4K broadcast is powered by KNET Networks infrastructure and produced from Silicon House Production Studios. So keep your fingers crossed and do tune in. But coming up now, we talk about the big one, the population and housing census. And from the Ghana Statistical Service, we bring you Francis Nyako-Labi, head publicity, education, and advocacy. He joins us for this all-important conversation. Mr. Nyako-Labi, thank you for joining the conversation.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you here. And I know we are going to lay bare all of the issues. But let's start from the angle of the progress we have made so far. In the first week, we had covered about half of the population, which was wonderful. But as of this point in time, how far have we come in the process?
Well, still the story is good. Yes, the story is good. The enumerators are doing quite well on the field. As you mentioned, when we looked at the data on the 9th day, what we saw was that 99, and the 9th day, as I'm talking of, was Tuesday. So it means all these numbers I'm calling have now been upped. Yes, will have been upped now because they've still been working from Tuesday up to now. From 99.9% of the 99.9% of the enumeration areas, we receive report or results from all those places. That means the enumeration areas I'm talking of, we are talking of over 56,000 areas where enumerators are working. So almost everybody has brought some results from his enumeration area. Those who have not come, there may be very serious reasons, technical reasons that has not made it possible for them to probably...
have you experienced any of that? Some of those technical reasons for which some people have not been able to facilitate the GSS with data?
Oh, you can have a situation where at the point everything is set and the enumerator was just about to go to full. He takes ill.
Oh wow!
Yes,
right.
And for 2-3 days or some number of days, he's not able to go to work. At that stage, sometimes it's difficult immediately for the supervisor to say he's replacing him or he's sacking him or something, especially when it is ailment that he can just recover quickly and come to work.
Right.
So we have some of this. Normally, it doesn't happen. That's why you see that the normal is I don't want to say insignificant because that 0.1 itself works to about 56 enumeration areas. And if you look at the fact that each enumeration area has an average of a population of between 500 and 750, it is quite a number.
It's quite a number.
Yes.
I mean, 500, even if we're using the base number of 500 times 56,
yes,
that's quite a number.
It's quite a number. So we know from the 9th day when we looked at it up to now, something had been done. If we were to look at it by now, I believe at least if they have not finished, they may have reduced the workload on them.
But have you had cause? I just did in my head, if you're doing 500 by 56, at least you'll be looking at upwards of 25,000.
Yes.
So that's significant.
Yes.
But have you had cause to let go of a few people? Have you had cause on the back of what you just said? Because you said, let's say someone is taken ill, maybe for some reason you would want to wait.
Yeah.
In other instances,
yes.
have you had to let go of some of them?
For those we have had the cause to let go, we had good reasons of inactivity. The person is not working. He comes, talk to his supervisor, and then the next day you call him, you say, I'm on the field. Supervisor goes around, he doesn't find him anywhere. You see, the work ethics for the field data collection is that every day you must see your supervisor and sync the data you have collected. Every day you must see your supervisor before you close from work or after you close, before you sleep. You must be in contact with your supervisor and sync the data to the supervisor, for the supervisor to look at the data and then forward it also to the field data and district data editors to look at it and then sync it to head office. So your work that you have done must not be on your tablet to go and sleep. That's how it is. So if somebody is not working, immediately you can find it out, yes. So these 56 people that I said, we have not received any data from their enumeration area. It means whatever is preventing them from doing that, it is something that the supervisor may have agreed or has knowledge about it. Sometimes some people also, what happens is that you go to the difficult areas. There are some areas that are difficult to reach.
Like which ones?
oh, supposing you get into an island, you can, in this rainy season, you can move into some area, and then as you go, you cross some rivers, you get there, and then it rains. And the rivers are in flood. If it continues raining 3 days, the river is up. You cannot in flood, you cannot cross. So sometimes enumerator get crossed behind, locked behind such situations. And for some number of these, you may not see him. So if something like that has happened to your enumerator, you may be aware by virtue of maybe mobile phone access or something. But the data, you probably may not be able to sync because they need to be close to sync to the supervisor.
So what happens in such instances? Would you, for example, I know we're just a few days shy of the end, which is the 11th.
Yeah.
In such instances, what would you do? Especially if, let's say, for one such place, on D-Day or deadline day, you've still not been able to...
Oh, such situations do not wait till the D-Day. Such situations do not wait till the D-Day. What will happen is that before that time, the enumerator will have done something about it. This data, you see, the 56 comes to you as a supervisor. You may be looking after five enumeration areas, and one of them is the one behaving that. So at your level, at the supervisor's level, you have a very good knowledge of who is performing, who is not performing. Why are you not getting results from this person? You have a good knowledge about it, you see. But for them to be able to sync their data to the supervisor, they must be close because that is by Bluetooth. That is not internet, it's Bluetooth. So they must be close. So if a situation has prevented him from coming close to you or the two of you coming close together, it means it will be difficult for him to sync. And for that kind of situation, you understand that, yes, he has gone into the year, he's working. So anytime he crosses and comes, he's coming to sync.
Okay, so I get the point, but I was pushing it a bit further. Yeah. Let's say there is, I don't want to use force majeure situation, but let's say there's a flood, for example, and throughout the period, let's just assume, the person can't even go out because the place is flooded, no one is going out. How are you going to enumerate, for example? In some such instance, and deadline day has arrived, and you've still not been able to even go out because it's practically impossible. What happens?
The good thing is, census does not have such strict deadline.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say.
Census does not have such strict deadline. If for some technical reasons, good reasons, you have not been able to sync your data, but you have collected them. You know, as it is, you are in the community. If you have been locked, you are in the community, but the river that you cross on your way is in flood. So you are waiting for it to come down. So what will happen is that you will have done the work in the community. You see it. You will have done the work in the community, taking advantage of some breaks in the raining as the rain period. You see it. So the enumerator and the problem then is that because the enumerator and his supervisor have not been able to come close within a Bluetooth range to be able to transfer the data to the supervisor, then that is what the problem is. So that one, there is no problem. But where the supervisor is also aware that this person is not working for whatever reason, either he's lazing around or is whatever reason, that can easily be handled, he will just change them. We have changed a couple of them on the field.
Let's now talk about the data proper. How much work has been achieved? What more remains to be done?
Oh, well, looking at it, the data on our servers, about 56.6% of the expected households have been enumerated. 56.6%.
Across the 16 regions.
Across the 16 regions. The completion, it is the completion rate that varies. It varies between 38.9, or let me say 39%, to 39% in Greater Accra to 80% in the Northeast region.
And the last time I checked, Northeast had about 64%. So it appears their counting is going
going on.
Also, it also borders on the size of the population. Greater Accra is also, it has the biggest population in the country.
Yes.
I guess that impacts it.
Yes, but not so much. Greater Accra has the biggest population, so it also have a higher number of enumerators. So at the end of the day, we expect that their work should also be going up. But you know, not only Greater Accra, maybe it's because of the percentages. I just looked at the smallest and the highest. So some activities in other regions have been hidden. If you are looking at maybe places like Takoradi, Kumasi, who have which have problems, similar problems like Greater Accra, you realize that they also
have pretty low numbers.
Yes, numbers that they are also trying to catch up with some enumeration, because these are urban areas. Enumerators go to the field and they find it difficult getting access to the people. You get there and the man has gone to work, his wife is gone, his children are gone, the house is locked. So you wake up in the morning, some of them are compelled to start working very early. By 6 o'clock, he's on the move. But how many households can you cover?
Yeah.
You see? So by the time you have administered the questionnaire about 3 or 4 households, the next one, everybody is gone. So that is.
So you've targeted these areas that need more coverage.
Yes.
And you're ramping up in those.
Yes, we know them. We know all those areas. And so we'll target them all and give them, even what's happening is that we are not waiting till the end. So what's happening is that there are some areas, some regions who have enumeration areas. The enumerators have completed their assignment. So those people, we reassign them. So we have started reassigning some of the enumerators to regions or areas that have difficulty.
So you're redeploying. Basically,
yes.
For those who are done with their work, assigned,
yes.
You're pushing them to areas that need more coverage.
Need more hands.
Right.
So that is what is going to do.
Are they going to get extra? The next question I was going to ask was the payment of these enumerators. I know there was a bit of a hiccup right before they started. Have they all received?
They have all received.
What is due?
They have all received. The hiccup was. I won't say unnecessary because it's about income, but it's maybe, let me say, on misunderstanding. You know, Statscar Service will do a lot of projects, and it has this data collection. Sometimes the financier comes and the resources is good. So the data collectors, what they go is good.
So the financial hiccup has been dealt with.
Yes. Oh, it has.
Have they been paid fully? The last time we had one of
no. For data collection, for data collection, you will not be paid fully. Yes, you will not be paid fully. You are given some percentage to start the work,
right?
And sometimes another percentage as the work progresses. But a big chunk of the money is reserved to be paid at the end of the day to forestall a situation where people will not take the money and run away.
Right.
Because sometimes you pick the data and there are certain errors that require you go back to the place. And that one good thing about the census is that most of them are in the areas where they stay.
They are resident.
Resident, yes. So it is not that difficult. But going on the ground, what we realized was that, well, some of the enumerators were smart. So
when you say they were smart,
they were smart. It's you know, the application was done through the internet, and so they say. The instruction says, choose the locality that you want, which is where you stay. And then the woman or the man stays at Dansuma and say, I want to work at Amasamai, and that is where I stay.
Right.
You see?
So some people gave you
yes.
That
so some people
correct.
did not give us that this thing, and the system, once you have given that, you go for interview and you say yes, I am at Amasamai, and but in actual fact you live at Dansuma.
So that's interesting because these people are supposed to be collecting correct data, and if they themselves are giving false information,
that is sometimes it does happen in the edge or whatever it is, the zeal to get the job. People are staying in the house doing nothing, and so sometimes in the zeal of getting the work, he takes it out. I can just move from Dansumai to Amasamai and go and work.
But definitely after the process and all clarifications are given, the person's work is confirmed, then they will get their full payment.
You will get the full payment. When your work is done, you submitted all the data and it is checked and there is nothing for you to go back to correct or whatever, your full payment.
I was asking earlier, so for those who may be doing a double shift now, who are done with what they were supposed to do and now are being redeployed to other areas, are they going to get extra?
They come in for a different contract.
So that means those people are going to earn twice as much?
It might not be twice as much, but something good. The idea is, supposing that the first one you did, you have completed that one. Now you are coming to assist me, and I have 500 or let's say 700 households to.
Maybe I've covered half already.
Yes, I've covered half, and you are coming to, two of you are coming to help me to complete the 250 or the 300 that is left. You come and do 100, or you may come and do 50. Another person is doing 50. Then the work is exhausted. So if you are going to pay you, it will not be as much as what you did in your original area.
Well, that impacts what the person who originally was designated to that area should get. Maybe is it going to be that, well,
yes,
you weren't able to complete your work in the first place, so
yes,
we're going to take a little.
Yes, I was not able to complete it. Why? What was the main reason? When I have an enumeration area where I have listed about 700 or 1,200, and I'm working, I've not been able to finish. I've enumerated about 600 households, and you come to help me complete the 300. You see, to finish the 900. So when we finish, you coming to do 50 and taking some impact, the management is looking at it. The person who is also working from the end date, and that is the 11th July, if he continues working, he should also attract something. It should be like he has also been reassigned.
Right.
Should be, so it will be considered like he has also been reassigned. Otherwise, if he continues working on the old scale, it will not be fair.
Let's talk logistics.
Yeah.
Have you faced any constraints in moving your people in any material, whether stationery, whatever it is? Have you? I mean, even the technology that you're using.
No. The logistics, yes, they were all not moved at the same time, but as the field work progressed, we moved them every day. Vehicles were moving, crisscrossing the country with logistics, and so and there are certain logistics like face masks and those things that we keep sending them around. So every now and then we get information from a particular region or district, and we need these nose masks, we need this, and vehicles have to take them around. So yes, the logistics were all not given out at one go, but as we speak now, we finish moving all our logistics to our people. I think the last one that people were complaining about, especially as the rain setting, is the Wellington boot.
Right.
Yes, and the Wellington boot, management took a decision not to buy from Accra and give to them. What happened was that it was given, the resources were given to the regional statisticians to look at the areas where they will need, and then you buy it for them. Or you allow the persons to buy, just to be able to be sure of sizes and the need for that particular logistics. So all those things have been sent to them, and they are working fine with it.
Let's talk about some areas where maybe logistically you've not been constrained, but there are other areas where you faced challenges. Enumerators have died. Some have been involved in accidents. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, it's true. It's unfortunate. As for the death, it's unfortunate. But yes, we have some enumerators unfortunately dying. Yes.
Do you have a number? Can you put a number to it?
I think the death, completely dead, I think what has come to my knowledge is 2. One in the Upper East region and one in Ashanti region. And unfortunately, they all died as a result of motorbike accidents. Unfortunately, they all died as a result of motorbike accidents. Regrettable though. A number of them also have been involved in also the same motorbike accident, but injured. They were not. They didn't die.
So tell me, what exactly has been happening? Is it that they are trying to reach the communities quicker? They are on motorbikes, and then something happens.
Yes.
Or they are hit by the motorbike.
Yes. You wake up in the morning. For instance, the guy who died in the Upper East region, he has waked up. He works in the community with a lady, another lady enumerator. So he picked his motorbike, went to the lady's house and picked her, and then they embarked. and they were going on their way. I don't know what happened, but there was this articulated truck parked by the roadside. Though the truck was neatly parked, he was not in the road, but I don't know what happened. He just jumped into the articulated truck, and you know, driving on a good road, the road there is good. So riding on a good road, naturally the speed will be a little high, maybe beyond 50 or something. You are in a hurry also to go to work in the morning. And then all of a sudden, with that full speed, you jump into an articulator, look at the beam, you hit your head against the beam. I mean, what's the strength? You naturally died. The lady who was sitting behind her also sustained some injury, a little in the face and on the shoulders, and she has, thank God, she survived the accident, so she's recovering.
So for her, for example, is the GSS taking care of the medical bills and all of that? What happens in such situations?
Yes, in that situation, GS will take care of all those things.
No, the question wasn't, is the GS taken care of?
I'm unable to say is, but I will say will, because sometimes when it happens, how much is GS bringing to you? You are involved in an accident and you have been hospitalized. So how much do you want GS to bring to you? You yourself, you don't know how much it will cost you.
Yeah.
But if God helps you, you have survived, you go through your treatment, then you know that it cost me this much. You present the receipts. You see it. So GS is now able to say, based on this amount or this amount on this situation, we'll be able to give you, if not full, some percentage or this. Just like the brothers or those who pass on. GS is not able to give them resources adequately enough to say to compensate them. A life is lost, you cannot bring it back. But at least we're able to soothe the pains of the families by helping them in the funeral and some other resources.
Right. There's something else that I know definitely is a handicap. It fetters you in some way, and it has to do with the seeming invasiveness of the questions that people have to answer. And I say seeming because some people see it and think, So I had a personal experience. A few days ago, I spoke to someone who was saying, and these people come around and they're asking you how many toilets you have in your house. What religion do I subscribe to? Yes. And all of that. Some people find it invasive. I had to sit the person down and say, but you know, there are religious demographics in the country. We need to know whether you are Christian. And even if you are Christian, for example, which denomination of Christianity do you... I am Catholic. They would want to know, what denomination do you belong to? Do you have toilet facilities? Have you thought about open defecation? Have you thought about the law when it comes to households having toilets? So these are all... But I realized, even on social media, that some people felt, it's invasive. Why are you asking me these questions? Has that been a challenge?
It is. It is as you administer the questionnaire, you ask a question and a respondent will ask you, is that also necessary? Should I answer that? You see it, yes. But what we say is, every single question in the questionnaire is a policy issue. Every single question there is a policy issue. You see, when we are about to take census, the questionnaires, all the questionnaires do not come from GSS. Like GSS sit down and come out with all, no. Stakeholders come with their interest, issues they want the census to carry along. So we'll look at them, and then the committee that works on it will now say, okay, let's take this, let's pick this, let's pick this, before we come up with the complete questionnaire. And so, you know, open defecation is an issue in our part of the world or in our country. And so we want to find out at the household level. And you know, census is the only survey that picks information on every single person in the country. So when we have the opportunity of taking the census like this, all those issues, we want to pick them up so that at the end of the day, we should be able to know the population in the country. Yes, we know, but how many of them, if it is a matter of toilet, how many of them have toilet facilities in their homes? how many households even have a toilet in their home, and even what type of toilet, not just the toilet, but what type of toilet facility do you have? So we ask you all those questions. So every single question that is in the questionnaire there is a policy issue.
It's critical.
Yeah.
But let me go on then to ask, so especially as you've noted some of these challenges where in some areas, I'm sure sometimes the understanding may not be so good. What have you done? What do the enumerators do? What do you do as a statistical service?
Yes, as a service, during the training, what we tell them is that you are fortunate as an enumerator to have been brought here. You are going to sit for some number of days, and we take you through the questionnaire. And every opportunity is at your disposal to ask every question you want on the questionnaire. When you go to the respondent, he doesn't have that opportunity. He hasn't gotten it. So the questions we are going to ask the person, it is not easy for all of them you ask and immediately he will give you the response. Somebody will feel bad about a question. Somebody will want to know why. So it is about the explanation you are giving that person. So the training that you go through, when you go to the data collection phase, you have to exercise that one day to educate the people on the importance of the census. Somebody will come say about the census. The census, of what importance is census? For somebody like me, what do I need a census for? Not because he feels he's rich or something, no, but he feels he's maybe at the lower end of the ladder, so he doesn't need any, he doesn't get any help from government, he doesn't get any support from government. What support with this village? What has government even done for us before? Forgetting that at least when he's traveling, he moves on a good road, or he moves on he has a community, how do we call it, a community toilet facility or something like that. And all those things are based on the data. So that is it. What we have done is we continue to educate. We continue to educate people at any opportunity on the social media, on the television and radio and all that. We continue to provide education to people on the importance of the census. So,
and I think at the tail end, I'll have you, go over some of those important bits, why we even need the census. But it's also important to add at this point that there are penalties if you fail to get yourself, counted. You resist the enumerators, if you intentionally put impediments in their way, if you are giving false information, all of that. I know some 2,400 cedis based on the penalty points.
Yes.
You could even serve jail time.
Yeah.
So that ought to be put out there as well, so people know that
yes.
this is a very serious.
Yes. Yes. So it is an option we normally do not want to reach that point. I've come to you and I'm picking information about you. So what then happens is, if you are resisting providing me with that information, it behoves on me to continue to talk to you, to plead, and then give me the information. For those who have genuine, or let me end it saying genuine reasons for not giving. There is nothing like, let me even reverse it, a genuine reason for not giving the data. But for those who, sometimes the person has some fear. The person has some fear, this data I'm giving, it will be used against me. You see, so for those people, you have to sit down and talk to them and allay their fears, and then they will provide you with the data. That's how it is. But if somebody is resisting and everything, you see, one thing also is, supposing you are in a community and we came and you say, for me and my household, I'm the head of the household, but I will not provide the data. Yes. So what happens is that the enumerator will report to the supervisor. The supervisor will go and talk to the person. If he's adamant, the supervisor may report to the assemblyman or the committee member. And then after that, there is this district field data officer. District field officer also with them. He will also come and talk to you. So all these people will come and talk to you. At least one of them will be able to convince you.
You should be able to read.
Yes, at least your community chief. Sometimes it moves to the leader or the chief of the community. He will come and chief of the community moves into your house and is telling you provide them with the data, you provide. So that we normally do not reach that point where we have to take the persons to court. But when the opportunity...
But that is the ultimate.
That's the ultimate.
If
yes.
you resist and
if
resist
you resist, when it gets to that level, the government's assistant has that right to take you to the court. And, so the law, the Ghana Statistical Service law, has made that provision for us.
So it's either the penalty or jail time or both.
Or both.
Well, I definitely wouldn't want to get into the crosshairs of the Ghana Statistical Service on this one. But looking so far at the numbers, we've crossed the 50% line, which is a good thing. We have some 2 days to go. But what is the picture looking like? Before the census, we'd been told that, I mean, on many different, whether it was the UN, the WHO data, or even World Bank data, the estimate was that Ghana's population was hovering around 31 million.
Yes.
After counting 50%, what is it looking like? Is it pointing to the fact that maybe we have even more?
Let's reserve that question for government statistician.
I was trying to get it. But at 50% plus, maybe let me put it this way. At 50% plus, have we done over 15 million?
We should be. We should be, yes, at 50%, given the percentage of households that we have covered. We at least 50% of that number we should be.
We should be. Here's a very personal one. Your catchphrase for this entire exercise is "you count, get counted."
Yes.
I am Ghanaian.
Yes.
I count. I haven't got counted, and it partly boils down to part of what you said. I leave home very early.
Yeah.
Sometimes get home late, and all of that. In an instance like mine, what do I do to ensure that I get counted?
At the instant, if there is somebody in the house, leave the information, the very critical information, maybe your years, your date of birth, your educational qualification. Yes, you can leave those things that are particular to you, known to you. Leave them to somebody. Also, we also have this facility where the enumerator could give you a callback card, which has his number. And then you pick it and call him. Then you can arrange time.
So that could be given to maybe a neighbor. In my instance,
yes.
the person closest to me also leaves early. Our place is gated, and so it would be difficult for... There's no access even to get in there and give it to a neighbor.
That is the problem we have in our gated communities. That is why the urban areas, the enumeration you see is low. At Greater Accra, and yes, the gated communities is a big problem.
But this is something you foresaw,
yes.
right? So how do we... I mean, it should have been, I feel, such that now with technology and everything, I can maybe even, this is a certain number that I can access, and then I can even call in the course of the day and say, okay, so I'm ready at this point. I have 10 minutes for you.
Yes.
What are the questions? Or it's a form to fill, and I can submit online.
What we do is that arrangement could be made using the callback card. So when you have the callback card and you call the enumerator, then you are talking to the enumerator who is working in your area. So he can now arrange with you at the convenient time and then take you through the interview by telephone. Telephone interview is allowed.
Right. Yeah. Do you have some of these, or basically it has to be that specific enumerator?
It has to be that specific enumerator because where you are, your residence is within an enumeration area.
Maybe I should frame the question better.
Yeah.
Is there a line or a number of lines we could call, maybe a hotline we could call from the Ghana Statistical Service and say, okay, I live in X area.
Yes.
I've not been counted.
Yes.
Can you give me access to the number of my enumerator or details so that I then get in touch?
That can be done. That can be done. Yes, that can be done. If you call our toll-free line, okay, and then your concern is that you want the number of we may link you through the supervisor and then the supervisor will get you that person, and the enumerator, specific person who is within your area, and then he will call you.
Okay.
And yeah.
So I've got some messages. Yesterday, for example, I was sent this. It's day 11 of the 2021 census. But to cut it short, that toll-free line was there. 0800 426 426. So it is 0800 426 426. I think if we can, we should just put it on the screen. 0800 426 426. So if you've not been enumerated, if you've not got counted, you count. So just call that number, 0800 426 426, and I'm sure whoever is at the end of the line will help you get in touch with
the person will ask you some few questions. If you can answer, it helps. Whether in your neighborhood, the other houses also, you are aware they have not been counted. Or have you they're listing with it, we're writing numbers on here. Are you aware whether those people in your neighborhood, their houses or structures have been numbered or have been listed? So if you have some information like that, you provide it. Then he will know that the enumerator, they will contact the district officer in charge, and then he will know which supervisor is supposed to work in that area, and then we'll let the enumerator come to your place and then work. Then it means it is not your particular house, just your particular house, but it is a problem within that area. That means an enumerator has probably not got into that area. He's working somewhere, he's coming, or probably he has skipped, or whatever it is. The supervisor will find a solution to it for you.
So for me, I'm going to call that number today, and I'll follow through and see what happens from there. Because I count and I need to get.
You need to be counted.
As we wrap up, Mr. Nyakolabi, let's rehash, like I said, the real importance of a census. I know there are so many of them. Rehash for ordinary Ghanaians. Maybe someone has been resisting the process for all this while. Tell them why it is so important, not only to get counted, but to give the right data.
Yes, you have said it for me. We don't only need the responses from you, but the response must be right, because the responses, all the responses we are picking are for policy decision making. And so if you give us wrong information, it will be the policies that we'll be using for them will not be right the way we want. So we will expect that everybody gets himself involved in this census. Those the benefits of census are tremendous. I mean, they cut across everywhere. Is it as we're discussing, community facilities? Is it toilet? Is it road, hospital, clinic, schools? All these things, to be able to come up with these things, government needs to know the population of the area. How many children are there? So that the school we are building, we need it must be a JSS. But do we have the primary also? Because the younger ones in the community, are they? How many are they? Or if we put 2 or 3 communities nearby, can we build a school in one of them for the children, rather than the children just staying in the house and not going to school? So every single policy decision or every single development effort that will be made in our life is based on some statistics, and that statistics is derived from census, which is population and housing census. We need all this information to be able to push the development agenda of our country forward to the desired levels that we all want to have.
Okay, and I guess it's only fitting at this juncture to say to the GSS, to you and to your team, Munio Jumayo.
Thank you very much.
We pray for better, that you're able to complete the process, and that the data does indeed help Ghana to become a better place. Mr. Nyakolabi, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Nyakolabi is head of publicity, Francis Nyakolabi, head of publicity, education and advocacy with the Ghana Statistical Service. If you didn't know some of those tidbits, you've got the education now, so you have absolutely no reason not to get counted. If you stayed with us all this while, thank you for your time. When we return, there's a lot more to talk about on The AM show is but we're talking about Women Call to Worship. Ohima Mercy will be there. Joe Beecham, they'll headline that event coming Saturday. But here's someone else who's behind it all, making things happen. You know her, Ohene Yuri, Gifty Auntie. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, I don't usually do this, but because you are my buddy.
You see, there you go.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. You've been bred prodigal, but I love you like that. I love you like that.
You're looking amazing.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the rationale behind this entire Women Call to Worship. What started this?
Okay, so it's part of the celebrations for the Standpoint anniversaries. I remember when we started the Standpoint 13 years ago, and that's in 2008. 11 July 2008. And a year on, 11 July 2011, we had a function, a walk, and a worship program, a little worship program. Reverend Istudanaba was the main speaker then. And then after somebody passed a comment that, oh, this women program, we've seen them come and go 1 year, you people are celebrating. And I said, well.
Oh, wow.
When God is involved, when you dedicate anything to God, it will never die. So I said, every year we will give glory to God. We will gather women and every man born of a woman to come together.
I see Joe Beecham is in there.
You see? To raise an altar of worship unto God, to say thank you. Because God has been faithful. Had it not been, I don't know why people think there's no God, but hey, that's another conversation for another day. But anything you do without the blessings of God will never be sustained. So we decided to bring women together. And biblically, you know, women have a special place in God's heart. Women are God's special partners. He trusts us enough to keep children in our womb for 9 months and believes that we'll deliver and take care of them. So when we cry unto God, he listens. He has a soft spot for us. So that's the whole idea, bringing women to say thank you or to cry unto God for whatever reason. But this year, it's all about Thanksgiving. So our theme is raising an extraordinary altar of worship unto God. When this COVID period started, everybody thought Africa is going to be the worst. Ghana, as for Ghana, we are finished. You know, because nothing
I recall
really,
when we had our first cases and then things started getting, you know, blown up and all of that. We were all very desperate.
Yeah, but God has been merciful. So we just want to say thank you. And you know, there's a secret about God. He loves worship. When you worship, my mother used to say something. If God will accept his thanks, his worship, our heart of gratitude, and still not be there for it, then it's up to him.
You know, when you say that and you add the fantina, can it be? It's said that there's a key to unlocking you know, God's heart, so to speak, figuratively. And it's thanks. Thanksgiving. Even when things are not going well, sometimes you must see, you want something, you don't get it. You never even know why God is preventing you from getting that. So Thanksgiving. And I'll just go back to, I'm not trying to be segregationist here, but that bit you said about offering thanks to God, worshiping him and all of that, and how you focused all of this on God. It just reminded me of that biblical verse. And it's very simple. It is the fool who says there's no God. It's very clear there. And I'm saying, I'm not trying to, if you're atheist or anything, I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying that from my standpoint, this is what the Bible says.
That's what the Bible we use says.
Yeah.
So we are quoting the Bible, you know.
But 13 years.
13 years.
It's been amazing. You know, I've been following the Standpoint, but it never actually hit me. 13 years. You have come far.
I've been actually trying to analyze and think back. Is it really thing? I've been calculating and recalculating because I can't believe that's 13 years. And you know, normally people like to celebrate milestones, and I'm a lover of celebrations. I celebrate everything. And I remember every date, good or bad. I'm that kind of person. But I'm so excited about this 13th anniversary. I'm not the person who believes in numbers. So I don't even know what 13 means. But just looking back, to where we are coming from, especially last year and the things we went through, and we're still here. We need to thank God and trust Him to take us to the next level.
I think, sometimes we play with numbers. We'll get to the event on Saturday, but sometimes we play with numbers, and some people even apportion negativity to certain numbers. You would know that in some countries. I think the United States, they don't have a 13th floor. And it's because of some superstitious beliefs about
Friday the 13th
13th.
and all that.
But I always say that God has control over every number.
Yes.
And if you repose faith in Him, what is bad will be made good for you.
I met somebody made a comment. It was a pastor that biblically or spiritually, 11 is not a very comfortable number and all that. And I said to him, you know what? Every good thing that has happened to me happened on the 11th. I had my only child, on the 11th of August. The standpoint was started on the 11th of July, and it's still here. The standpoint officially a teenager. We've come this way, and I believe in the God of the 11th. That's our God. Last minute. Then where you need to. It's all about how you believe. So for me, somebody thinks that for me, 11 is double the blessing. It's double the blessing.
11 is actually special for me too, in different ways. So it may be bad for that person, but me, every number is good.
Thank you. Every number is good.
But let's talk. So, apart from Joe Beecham and Ohema Mercy, who are those attending?
We have Becky Bonnie, we have Yadoma, Lydia Apau, Selena Boateng is coming. We
it's gonna
have
be hot.
Charlie, don't be fire. Bina Ophelia. We have SK. SK is coming all the way from Takrady to lead worship. Praise and worship is going to be amazing. And then we have Evangelist Michaelina also performing. Then Manye Basi MC. This lady, I met her at a funeral. That's why, I love to motivate and encourage and inspire. I tell people that wherever you find yourself, shine, do your best. I met her at a funeral. And the way she emceed the funeral, with the prayer, with the song, with the singing, and, her diction, her creating and being interactive, I just walked straight to her and said, Madam, I don't know anything about you, but I want you for Women Called to Worship. And I haven't recreated. The rehearsals, the preparation.
Wow.
She has an amazing voice. I even have goosebumps. I
think I ought to meet this person.
you know her?
I ought to meet this
You
person.
have to meet her. Manya is all sorts of, excitement.
She's a whole
and
vibe on
happiness.
her
She's
own.
a whole vibe.
Right.
So she'll be hosting it. And we are starting 10 a.m. prompt. It will be streamed live on Facebook and then on YouTube. So our viewers outside Accra and then outside the country can have access to it. They can really be a part of it and enjoy. It's right from the beginning. We'll go through the protocols, the COVID protocols, a drill, and everybody will have to keep their nose mask on and stay in their seat. We are going to have a well-spaced seating arrangement. So you can dance around your chair. You can kneel before, wherever. God sees us wherever we are. So it's going to be awesome. It's free, open to all, but we need support.
So it's going to be a hybrid event. We're going to have those who can connect via Zoom and
via Zoom,
and all of that.
YouTube,
they'll see, and then, but you'll have your people. So where will the performers be staged?
Trinity Baptist Church.
Trinity Baptist Church.
Yes, it's on the Medina Road opposite UPSA. Yeah, it's not difficult to find at all. Very easy to find.
It's right across, so almost opposite University for Professional Studies.
Yes.
Right. Wow. So you were talking about support. Let's quickly get into that.
Yes, please. We need people to support us. 0543 618182. You can send us.
I think you might have to slow down with that.
Okay. 0543 618182.
Again.
0543 618182. So call it. It's a Momo number as well. So send her your donation, or you can give us water, drinks, whatever it takes. It is that you can offer us. We accept it, and God will bless you. Plenty, 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 plenty for me.
Okay, so I'll do what was said at Solomon's Gate. Silver and gold, I may have none, but what I can give you, blessings galore, so that the show will be amazing. Many lives will be touched, and that women will be inspired. And for you, I mean, I've followed you for so long. Congratulations, really.
Thank you.
You do amazingly well. To have had this all through, to have kept the show, to do what you do. And I know your daughters and sons are so many.
Plenty.
God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and talk about this. To the producer, director, heads of channel and everybody, we are grateful.
I can't wait for Saturday.
Samba, you know your mama is my friend.
And that is Ohene Gifty Auntie. But we're also going to be talking about The Boss Show. Who's the boss? Well, Joy Prime is starting that 13-week television quiz show. That is up next. Do stay. It's all about the boss. Who's the boss? Well, you'll find out. It's a TV show all about sports. It's all about how much you know about sports, really. You're going to be pit against some people who know their stuff in the sporting arena. Joining us for that discussion on The Boss, which comes shortly on Joy Prime, Jerome Awandare, associate producer at The Boss TV game show. Oh, Jerome, so you're the boss.
No.
That was on the lighter notes. Good morning.
Good morning to you too.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us on the AM show.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us about The Boss Show. It's a bit of a novelty, isn't it?
Yes. So good morning to your cherished viewers. Yes, so The Boss TV game show is a soccer quiz show where contestants compete against a highly knowledgeable football pundit known as The Boss, who tries to prevent them from taking away cash or winning cash. Yes. So we have two short codes through which people can participate. One is for people on G-Money. So if you're not on G-Money, this is the time to go register on G-Money. Okay. The second code is for
motivation right there.
It's for people, non-G-Money people, and it's across networks. So we have two short codes. So you dial the code, you follow the prompt, and you buy entries. And at the end of the week, the 3 people with the highest entries qualify to come to the studio to play against The Boss to win some cash. But those short codes will reveal tomorrow on Joy Prime at 8 p.m.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of people will be itching to find out what the short codes are because, you know, a lot of our people, they follow sports keenly.
Yes.
And now looking at the system, especially with the lockdown, people went into different areas, some focusing on sports. So I'm sure The Boss will get a run for his money when the show starts. So pretty exciting. But what made you come up with this concept, this whole idea?
We know Ghanaians are soccer-loving people, so it's just a way to excite the soccer-loving public and to entertain them. That's basically it.
Okay, so what are some of the prizes people stand to gain if they compete successfully with The Boss?
We have a whole lot of prizes. We have TV sets. We have home theaters, phones, microwave ovens, a whole lot of other home appliances.
Can I compete?
I am not.
Of course, because
I'm not sure you are. Yes,
I just wanted you to burst my bubble.
Yes. We also have cash. We have about 250,000 that you can win a part of every week. So if you come to the studio, you get to win part of that 250,000.
250K.
Yes. And at the end of it all, somebody walks away with a Peugeot pickup.
Peugeot pickup?
Yes. The Peugeot pickup, yes.
So it will follow through. I guess this would be someone who would have to compete.
Yes. So
again and again.
So at the end of the day, it will be the highest, the person with the highest entries who would walk away with the Peugeot at the end of the whole program, which is after 26 weeks. Yes.
China, a Peugeot pickup.
Yes.
We all could do with some
luxury. You know, these days the Peugeots they design them. They are luxury pickups these days. So they are no longer those pickups that we used to see as very just rugged cars. These are luxury pickups.
Charlie, you're whetting my appetite now. Unfortunately, I can't compete.
You can be part,
but I know for those out there, your appetite is being whetted as well, and you wouldn't want to miss out on The Boss show. So it's starting from July the 10th.
It's tomorrow, which is tomorrow.
Just
tomorrow at 8 p.m. on Joy Prime, and every other Saturday.
So it's going to be airing constantly at 8 p.m.
Yes, on Joy Prime.
How long is it going to span? 8 to...
It's 1 hour. So
1 hour, so 8 to 9.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so what else do maybe people, our audience, our viewers who want to connect? You say the short code will come
It
tomorrow.
will come tomorrow. It will go live tomorrow. So we'll communicate both codes tomorrow. So people should watch out. They should tune in to Joy Prime tomorrow at 8.
Apart from that, what are the rules of the game? Just so people are abreast of it before tomorrow, comes through. What are some of the things they need to know? What are the rules to be followed apart from getting the short code?
Rules.
Are there any laid down rules to be followed, or is just, you have the question, the short code, you answer.
So it's basically you dial the short code, you follow the prompts, you buy entries, then we pick the 3 highest people to come to the studio. So that's basically it, how people get to enter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jerome.
Yeah.
So final words, let our viewers know how exciting it's going to be.
But before that, let me say a big thank you to our partners. G-Money is our headline sponsor. G-Money from GCB Bank. As I said, so if you are not on G-Money, this is the time for you to go register. Yes. Then we're also supported by Silver Star Auto Limited, the sole dealers of Peugeot. So they are the guys giving us the Peugeot pickup. Then we have Graphic Sports Plus and DDP Outdoor. And of course, Joy Prime.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So the excitement is coming tomorrow.
It's coming tomorrow, so people should tune into Joy Prime. Yes.
Well, Jerome, we'll be looking forward to the boss. Jerome Awandare there. It's another first and Joy Prime in partnership with HD Plus, the HD Experience partner for the Multimedia Group premieres Africa's first ever live football game in ultra high definition 4K. Catch the final of the Euros and be a part of this first as well. Visit the Samsung App Store on your Samsung Smart TV, download my HD Plus app and tune into the HD Plus dedicated 4K channel that is 100. Don't miss out on this first in Africa. See it feely in UHD 4K via my HD Plus app on your Samsung Smart TV. This 4K broadcast is powered by KNet Network Infrastructure and produced from Silicon House Production Studio. So it's going down. Jerome, thank you once more for joining the conversation.
Thank you for having me.
And that's something to look forward to tomorrow on Joy Prime, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's all about the boss for those of you sports lovers. It's time for us to draw the curtains on the show. Let me just say this. We meant to bring you Bogo Blay, rap artiste, and I was, waiting, to hear him perform. Unfortunately, owing to some time constraints, we've not been able to do that. But here's our assurance. We shall, in the coming week, plan something